The following program was made possible by these fine sponsors. Thank you so much! Ooh baby, it's Shmuptember! Throughout September, we're going to take a look at a different shoot-'em-up game every single week. That's a real treacious treat indeed! And here we are in week 3, we're smack dab in the middle of Shmuptember. I wonder what tomfoolery we'll be looking at this week. This week's game is Guwange. From 1336 to 1573 AD, Japan endured what is known as the Muromachi period. Named after the Muromachi shogunate, the feudal governing body at the time with a goal of tipping and changing the overarching power structure, this was a tumultuous time in Japanese history, resulting in the decade-long Onin War as tensions escalated between the shogunate and the daimyo, feudal lords of Japan. A subsequent civil war continued until 1573, when the daimyo Oda Nobunaga, known more contemporarily for the many complicated strategy games that have been constructed bearing his name, overthrew the shogunate and gained control over the country.
These are their stories.
Guwange was a bullet hell shooter released in 1999 and developed by Cave, one of the leaders in this genre. Set in the Muromachi period, this game tells of many people suddenly becoming possessed by shikigami, ghostly spirits. Woo, boogie, 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 boogie. Most human bodies cannot handle the effects of a shikigami inside of them and die 1 year after being infested. Yet there is a mighty legend whereby anyone possessed by a shikigami can gather 5 talismans, seek out the great god Guwange in Mount Gokumon, and defeat him in battle to save themselves from death. Seems like a lot of effort, and it might be less stressful to simply accept your demise, but there wouldn't be much of a game in that. You can control one of 3 unique characters, each with their own backstory that has no bearing on the gameplay whatsoever. Shishin is a 35-year-old fella whose shikigami has been trying to keep him alive past his year-long expiry date. A goddess speaks to him and advises him to seek out Guwange, for doing so will not only free him from the spirit within, but will also somehow restore his long-lost daughter Mikoto. So there's a double benefit. Kamono Gensuke is a 15-year-old pharmacist in training. How do you become a pharmacy technician at 15? His shikigami has some bad blood against Gensuke's father and has possessed him for revenge. But Gensuke takes on the role of bounty hunter on the side as he seeks a way to get rid of the nastiness inside of him. Hiragi Kosame is a 17-year-old archer, shrine maiden, and hobbyist demon hunter, as the trade runs in her family. After being possessed, her father commands her to remove the spirit within, and the spirit offers his help. So off they go to Guwange's house for tea and murder. Each character has their own unique attacks. Shishin tosses kunai in a straight line, which is great for anyone whose enemies are always in front of them. Gensuke throws swords in a more wide-reaching pattern, and Kosame is a master of powerful arrows. Your character can also fire off a limited number of potent blasts to annihilate enemies more efficiently. But what makes this shooter unique among most others is that you can release your inner shikigami and help defeat enemies and collect power-ups by controlling them as a separate entity as you fire on. The shikigami can also absorb enemy projectiles, saving you from a hole in the gullet. Thanks, buddy. Despite all this heavy arsenal at your disposal, only a quick-reflexed individual will be able to survive the onslaught of bullets and beasts alike. Guwange is generally non-stop action, with floods of troops charging forward in hopes of ceasing your plans for, well, preventing your own death. Every decent-length stage leads to a final battle against one of the 5 bearers of the talismans. The wood talisman is guarded by Fujimura Shizuhiko, a female dancer who is actually a man. Oh, and also has demonic powers that become quite apparent when you go in for the fight. The fire talisman is kept by Madara Mukade, the caterpillar beast of lore with a penchant for munching on possessed heroes. The earth talisman is protected by Nico Gumo, the twisted creature that is half feline, half arachnid, all pure frightmare. Don't get caught in one of its devilish hairballs. The metal talisman is shielded by, well, okay. Remember Hell House from Final Fantasy VII? It's back with a vengeance in the form of a possessed shrine. But within hides a terrible ogre demon. Egad, truly an amortization of the soul. The last talisman, the water talisman, is defended by Ashikaga Tsukoji, descended from a creator of the original Muromachi shogunate. Enchanted by a primate demon, he has overtaken his father's castle and now uses it to protect Guwange and his brand of evil brutes. With all 5 talismans in hand, whichever desperate human you selected can now head to Mount Gokumon, the grand finale, the culmination of all the pain and punishment you have endured for such a long time. And after a lengthy trek through the bowels of a shameful Sierra, we arrive in anticipation of Guwange's awakening, skirmish, and subsequent disembowelment. And we also get the demonic nun Amagizu atop what looks like a rather expired head of cauliflower. Come on, let's take her down! Yep, we can do so, but I bet you weren't expecting this! No, baby, no! Even when you take down this infantile, boil-infested beast, we still have to contend with the nun, now utilizing the power of Shinshin's long-lost daughter Mikoto. Oh, Noto! But with enough arcade tokens in your pocket, we can succeed and achieve our goal of continuing our lives free from the prosecution of the Shikigami inside of us. And we step forward to a new day, Mikoto in hand. There also exists a blue version of this game, featured at cave competitions, that amps up the difficulty. No thanks. This is definitely one game that should be placed on the list of things that do not need a higher difficulty level. Guwange remained Japan exclusive until 2010 when it was dropped onto Xbox Live Arcade worldwide for the Xbox 360. Now the whole world can go on get it. No, I just can't forget this baby! Oh.
You shall be prosecuted to the full extent of the jam, yo.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to catch the rest of the episodes of Shmup-tember. Also, like this video and subscribe to the channel or I will send that goitered baby your way, and believe me, you'll be powdering its behind hourly.